Oh yeah, it's time to talk about Tails! You guys aren't getting sick of it, which means I get an awesome excuse to keep talking about my favorite character in the entire franchise. This time around, I'll be diving into the movies of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. And no, not the older ones, I'm talking about the newer ones from Paramount. You know, the one with the horrible original design? Look, I'm sorry I had to remind you of something so foul. Welcome to Tails Nexus, the only place where the guy talking right now and the guy editing the video are the same person and yet somehow are mortal enemies with each other. In this video, I take a deep, not so deep dive into talking about the yellow fuzzball Tails. More specifically, the extra fuzzy, extra adorable Tails from the movie trilogy. Soon to be a tetralogy, which is crazy, from Paramount. Naturally, if you want to avoid any spoilers for any of the movies, feel free to avoid this video altogether until you've watched it, because I'll be covering Tails as a whole across all of the movies. This video was actually suggested to me by a lot of people, actually. You guys are dying to hear my thoughts on movie Tails, and honestly, I think it's about time we finally give this fluffy little champion the spotlight he deserves. Also, real quick, in my video where I talked about Knuckles and why he's essential to the trio, commenter Eiany dropped a hilarious comment that had me howling when I first read it. Eiany also happens to be this channel's first official member, so I just want to take a second to thank them for supporting me and the channel. Seriously, it goes a long way. Anyway, thanks again, Eiany. Now, back to the video. So, if you weren't aware, our little cutie patootie has undergone a pretty drastic design change from the first movie to the sequel. Now, I want to make something very clear. I think both designs are brilliant. When I first saw the Tails on the left, I literally squealed with excitement. I don't think you guys actually understand how much of a mental flashbang this was for me. For a few seconds, my brain decided it was time for a Windows update the moment he came on screen. Now, there was nothing particularly wrong with the first design of Tails, but I am thankful they redesigned him. The old one seemed a little too square-shaped for my liking, I guess. But the new one? Now that's more Tails-esque. Which, yes, is definitely a professional term. They gave him bigger eyes, which are scientifically proven to enhance cuteness, and they gave his snout and cheeks more volume. Not to mention the improvements in his fur render. It's just so soft looking. I want to reach through the screen and give him a good old hug. Which, speaking of, in the third movie, they really cranked that fluffy dial up to 100. It makes me want to squeeze the daylights out of him. And I mean that in the most affectionate way possible. No harm to the adorable fox. Seriously though, his design evolution feels like a natural progression. And I gotta say, it's kind of magical how well they translated him into a live-action world. It's like they figured out how to make him perfectly fit into a world where humans and Sonic coexist, without him looking awful or like an eyesore next to them. There's this delicate balance between making him feel like he's part of that world and yet maintaining everything that makes him Tails. And they nailed it. And for longtime fans like me, seeing Tails done right on the big screen isn't just fan service, it's emotional. Like my inner child just did a happy backflip. We've always known Tails as a sweet, adventurous, and super smart fox. Now he looks like it too, in a way that feels just right. It's not just about looking cute, it's about getting to see Tails as its fully realized character in the 3D space. Fluffy, charming, and bursting with personality. I think it's safe to say they made me fall in love with movie Tails all over again. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There are a couple of glaring issues with Tails' consistency across the movies. Yeah, he's got his gadgets, his brains, and that adorable shy awkwardness, but one big flaw is that by the third movie, he still doesn't have his confidence. Sonic Movie 2 gets a pass here because Tails is still in that stage of building his confidence. And honestly, I think that's fine. Even though, in my opinion, the second movie could have focused more on his character development. But then again, we have to consider that these films are aimed at a younger audience. So it might be a bit harsh to say that the second movie didn't represent Tails. The focus is really supposed to be on Sonic and the Big Bad, right? Now, here's the painful truth. Trust me, it hurts me to say it, but it's the reality. Tails is only interesting in 3 key moments in the films, and those are when A, he's expositioning, B, he's using a gadget or he's flying, or C, when he's in trouble. The 2 exceptions to this rule, the post-credits scene in the first movie where Tails is looking for Sonic, and the end of the third movie, where he and Knuckles team up to try and save Sonic. And that's it. Yep, those are the only times Tails actually gets any real intrigue. Honestly, that sucks. My boy deserves more than just being the guy who occasionally speaks in scenes. They've got such an awesome design for him. They've got the original voice actor, which is a huge win considering none of the other characters have their OGVA, and yet you're telling me that Agent Stone, yes, Agent Stone, gets more character depth than Tails? That's painful. I love Agent Stone, don't get me wrong, but the fact that one of the core members of Sonic's trio is so underdeveloped is kind of shameful. It upsets me, and it should upset all fellow Tails fans out there. I get it, the movie is supposed to be about Sonic, and Tails can't have a full arc in that context. But why not give him his own spin-off TV series? Knuckles has had his own, so surely Tails is next, right? Well, unfortunately, here's the catch. Despite how much I and you love Tails, Shadow and Eggman are far more likely candidates for these spin-offs. Shadow has a massive following, and Jim Carrey's enthusiasm for Eggman has been off the charts. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth. However, there is at least one area where they do play into Tails' strengths, his hyper-intelligence. They really emphasize this with his adorable little backpack, which carries all of his amazing gadgets and gizmos. Seriously, the backpack is a literal treasure chest of awesomeness. Each item scarily efficient and totally badass. I need that backpack in my life, just like Tails needs his own spin-off series or another game. Tails plays a crucial role in the movies, even if his character development was put on the back burner to make room for the glory of the Carrey stash. You know the one I'm talking about, Dr. Robotnik's glorious, reality-bending mustache. Tails himself even admits that he's not a field guy, and he's just the gadget guy. And while he's often overshadowed by the main events and cinematography, he still manages to break through those barriers and prove that he's absolutely vital to the team. And before anyone tries to dunk on him for barely showing up in the first movie, that post-credit scene doesn't count, alright? He gets a full pass. Let's look at some undeniable facts. Without Tails, Sonic doesn't get out of Siberia, Sonic doesn't break into gun headquarters, and Sonic gets his lights permanently knocked out by Knuckles. Immediately we can toss out any argument about Tails being useless. And no, it's not like just anyone could have done what he did. His victories aren't just right place, right time moments, they are the direct result of Tails' specific talents. He's rocking hyper-intelligence that no one else in the movies could even come close to. He's the one who knows about different cultural traditions thanks to his trusty translator device, which, okay, technically got him into trouble, but come on, it's referencing the Miles Electric from Sonic Colors. Respect the dedication to lore. He's also the natural-born pilot, and yeah, he also takes extra miles and learned how to drive, because why wouldn't he? I know, bad joke, not funny, didn't laugh, but I had to. And when Sonic is free-falling through the sky, who's the one zooming to catch him mid-air? Not Knuckles, not Tom, not a conveniently placed trampoline, it's Tails. The one moment alone cements him as not just a sidekick, but as a straight-up lifesaver. And that's just the big stuff. Even in the smaller, quieter moments, Tails has an important presence. He's Sonic's emotional anchor, the one reminding him to think before acting, to trust his friends, and to realize that being strong doesn't mean doing everything alone. Tails believes in Sonic when Sonic starts to doubt himself, and if that doesn't hit you right in the feels, I don't know what will. Of course, the movies don't really give Tails enough moments like that. More often than not, his words of wisdom often get brushed aside in favor of Sonic and Knuckles having their own conflict moment. And while that's awesome, it's like, guys, please throw my boy a bone. He's over here saving the day and offering free therapy sessions, and you're treating him like he's just part of the set decoration. Criminal behavior. Tails deserves more, and we all know it. Deep down, even Sonic knows it, and he just won't say it out loud because he's allergic to emotional honesty. One thing I really appreciate about the movies is how they actually bother to build a dynamic between Tails and the rest of the crew, even if it's not super deep yet. Tails and Knuckles, for example, have this fun little back and forth. It's mostly playful teasing, but underneath it, there's this quiet understanding between them. Knuckles, for all his bluster, clearly sees Tails as someone valuable, someone worth standing up for. And honestly, that's adorable. It shows that even the big tough warrior has a soft spot for the little genius, and that kind of loyalty between them adds so much warmth to the trio. Then of course, there's Sonic. Sonic isn't just some untouchable hero figure to Tails. He's a best friend, a brother. Their bond is built on genuine trust and encouragement, not just admiration. And while, yeah, Tails still has his moments where he looks up to Sonic like he hung the moon, it's balanced by Sonic treating Tails like an equal. He believes in him. And that belief is what gives Tails the courage to keep pushing forward, even when he's scared. Even when the movies don't have time to dive deep into it, you can still feel that Tails belongs. He's not just a smart kid tagging along, he's not just the comic relief, he's family. That's why, even though the movies don't really pay enough homage to the bond these three should share, it still means so much to us longtime fans just seeing them together, just watching Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles enjoy each other's company. Even if it's only on the surface, it hits something deep deep in our hearts. But unfortunately, because it's kept so shallow in terms of story depth, and the reasoning for their friendship is basically just because it's the way it is, the newer generations probably won't feel the same emotional weight we do. They'll like it, sure, but they won't feel it the way we do. Where every moment reminds us of a bond that was built up over years of games, shows, and comics. And honestly, that's kind of a missed opportunity. Because if the movies really leaned into that history, they could have made something truly timeless. Now, for those of you still watching, first of all, let it be known that I appreciate you all. You mean the world to me. And if you're wondering why I'm saying this instead of diving straight into my final thoughts, well, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I'm about to do a little bit of trolling. This is my message to you cheeky little scams who skipped ahead using the timestamp feature. You think you could just fast forward past all the good stuff, didn't you? You little bugger, you sneaky little rascal. Alright, I'll let you off this time, but don't think I'm not watching you. I got my eyes on you. Anyway, back to business. So, movie Tails. Why do I think he's one of the best versions of Tails we ever had? Is it because of his looks, his character, his personality? Well, funnily enough, the answer is actually none of these. I think this Tails is one of the best because he has the biggest potential compared to any other Tails variation we've seen. He's still growing, he's still learning, and even though his looks are drop dead adorable and his personality is way too many tones close to me when I'm approached in real life, what I appreciate most is the potential value movie Tails holds. They've given him a clean slate, a real honest chance to become something special. Let's just hope they don't smudge it with poor decisions and ill-fated writing, yeah? They've already got Colleen, which is a huge win, so the foundation is there. They just need to believe in him, the way we all do. And that's all she wrote, folks. But before I wrap this up, I just need to ask, for the love of all things fuzzy and adorable, can we please get a Tails spin-off? I'm begging, like really begging. I know we got Knuckles' show, which is great, but come on, Tails deserves his own spotlight. Maybe not as much as I deserve a new pair of shoes, but that's a whole different story. But still, it's necessary. Imagine a show where Tails is the main character, saving the day, solving mysteries, building gadgets, and of course making everything 1000% cuter just by existing. It would be perfection, people. Perfection. So, if you're listening, Paramount, Sega, whoever's in charge, help a guy out. Alright, enough of my begging. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more Tails, and hopefully more spin-off please in the future. And until next time, keep flying high.